It means everything. There's so many people that have been a part of my story, been a part of my journey. Those girls and the coaching staff, they changed my life for the better. They made me a better person.
What if a player's silence speaks louder than words? When asked about who she's excited to face in the WNBA, Paige Bueckers named former teammates, but completely avoided mentioning Caitlin Clark. That's right, the biggest name in women's basketball right now wasn't even acknowledged. This represents calculated media awareness. Athletes learn to name drop for maximum exposure, yet Paige bypassed the opportunity to create a viral moment.
Who are you looking forward to matching up against in the Florida WNBA this season? It's right around the corner.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, all the UConn alums, my former teammates, Liv, Aaliyah, Nika, and everybody else. And everybody, honestly, I'm just so excited to compete.
By mentioning her biggest rival, is this advanced media strategy or the beginning of the coldest rivalry in WNBA history? Stay tuned as we reveal why this subtle dodge might redefine a major matchup. Did you catch what just happened? Paige Bueckers just had the golden opportunity to break the internet with one simple name drop, but she completely sidestepped it. Let's break down this Good Morning America moment that everyone's talking about. So here's what went down. The GMA host asked Paige about which WNBA players she's most excited to face on the court. This is like the softball question of all softball questions, right? The perfect setup to generate headlines. And how did Paige respond? She enthusiastically mentioned her former UConn teammates, Liv, Aaliyah, and Nika, showing love to her college squad. But there was one massive, glaring omission that has basketball Twitter absolutely buzzing. She didn't mention Caitlin Clark. This was calculated. These top-tier athletes go through media training specifically designed to maximize their exposure and build their personal brand.
The 3-on-3 league. Okay, you got a nice, sweet contract with them. I understand you're also an investor in the league. Why is that important to you?
I mean, investing in women's sports, I feel like the return on investment has been amazing. Even their first year, the numbers were shocking.
Mentioning Clark would have been media strategy 101. It would have instantly created headlines across every sports network and social platform. When you watch the clip, there's this brief moment where it seems like Clark's name might be on the tip of her tongue, but she pivots away from it naturally. She specifically chose to highlight her UConn connections instead, keeping the focus on the relationship she's already built, rather than feeding into the rivalry narrative. This mirrors how legendary athletes have controlled their narratives for decades. Just as Kobe and Shaq strategically mentioned or avoided mentioning each other in interviews to either fuel or diffuse drama depending on what served them best, Paige is playing that same chess game with her own style. Remember how Michael Jordan famously dismissed Clyde Drexler with, "I'm not comparing myself to him," in 1992. That single line generated weeks of speculation and positioned Jordan as the superior player, all from what wasn't said. Her body language reveals everything. Throughout the interview, she maintained unwavering eye contact, relaxed shoulders, and a natural cadence to her speech. No fidgeting, no rushed delivery, no telltale signs of avoidance. This wasn't her scrambling to avoid a name, this was executing a plan. The interviewer caught the dodge. There was that slight reaction, that moment of recognition, that something notable had just happened. But Paige kept rolling forward, controlling the conversation like a pro, ensuring the interview stayed focused on her journey, her relationships, and her excitement about joining the WNBA. What we're witnessing is a brilliant media strategy in action. By not mentioning Clark, Paige maintains complete control over her own narrative. She's establishing herself as her own entity in the WNBA landscape, focused on her own path rather than being positioned as Clark's rival. The genius part? By avoiding Clark's name, she created more buzz than if she'd mentioned her. Now, everyone's analyzing why she didn't say it, what it means, and how this will affect their relationship. One strategic omission, and suddenly the basketball world is dissecting her every word. That's media savvy for someone who hasn't even played her first professional game yet. During the interview, Paige emphasized how her UConn teammates and coaching staff changed her life for the better and made her a better person, leader, basketball player. This focus on her existing support network cleverly positions her as someone who values loyalty and team connections, laying groundwork for her WNBA persona. Here's what's fascinating. Paige's strategic silence about Clark might actually be orchestrating the perfect WNBA rivalry without a single trash-talking word being spoken. While everyone expected the classic "I can't wait to play against the best" quote on GMA, this calculated non-mention created something way more valuable. Authentic intrigue that has fans choosing sides before either rookie has played a single professional minute. This silent maneuver is like a chess grandmaster's move, setting the stage for a rivalry that's as strategic as it is thrilling. The WNBA has been hunting for that perfect storyline to break into mainstream sports consciousness for years. They've had incredible talents and compelling matchups, but nothing has captured the general public's attention quite like this brewing Bueckers-Clark dynamic. When league viewership soared by 74% for the 2024 draft, it became clear that fans were hungry for a story this compelling. A seismic shift in how people are engaging with women's basketball. The strength of this rivalry lies in its authenticity. There's no need for staged confrontations or exaggerated beef. It's built on two completely different approaches to the game and media presence. Paige cultivates a team-first, humble leader image while making power moves behind the scenes, creating a perfect contrast to Clark's more visible approach. The WNBA now has two marquee rookies who represent different sides of the same competitive coin. Every press conference, social media post, and game highlight is being interpreted through this rivalry lens. Fans are rallying behind hashtags like #Team Paige and #Clark Nation, creating digital battlegrounds before either player has stepped onto a professional court. This rivalry transcends basketball fundamentals. It's evolving into a personality contrast, giving fans clear sides to choose. Are you drawn to Paige's calculated restraint, or do you prefer Caitlyn's more outspoken approach? Neither is wrong, they're just different. And that difference drives conversations across every platform where basketball is discussed. Paige's off-court strategy reveals she's positioning herself as a businesswoman beyond her player identity. Her investment in the unrivaled 3-on-3 league demonstrates she's building something bigger than her on-court presence, creating an empire while focusing on her own path. This business-minded approach adds another fascinating layer to how these two stars differ in their career strategies. Meanwhile, their teams are capitalizing on this narrative gold. The Dallas Wings and Indiana Fever are cleverly promoting their upcoming matchups as must-see television events. They understand exactly what's happening. This is about two different approaches to professional basketball stardom colliding in real time. Social media is absolutely exploding with reactions. Fans noticed immediately how Paige kind of avoided Caitlyn's name during that interview, sparking non-stop speculation. Everyone's taking sides, making prediction videos, and declaring which player will dominate when they finally meet. What we're witnessing is a masterclass in sports marketing that evolved organically rather than being forced. League executives must be over the moon watching this unfold, knowing this authentic rivalry will translate to ticket sales, merchandise purchases, and most importantly, eyeballs on screens when these two finally face off. The WNBA couldn't have scripted it better if they tried, so we've seen it all unfold, right? What started with a simple interview question has sparked what could become the defining rivalry of this WNBA era. And the timing couldn't be better. The upcoming season is already being called the most exciting in league history, with Paige and Caitlyn at the center of everything. They're transforming women's basketball, creating unprecedented buzz, and attracting viewers who never watched the W before. This season marks the beginning of an epic saga in women's basketball. The league is finally getting its deserved spotlight, and the story is far from over. What matchups will define this rivalry next? Are you ready to witness history in the making?